In this iPad is a financial markets account with $10,000. And I'm going to give full control of this account to my 1-year-old son. I'm going to allow my 1-year-old son to bet on prediction markets. And I know what you're thinking. Noel, that is so fucked up. How could you let your son look at a screen so young? Don't worry. I never let my son look at screens. And I don't have to, because you see, betting on a prediction market is fairly straightforward. It's not a complex interface like the stock market where you have to look at rectangles and lines and graphs and things. It really kind of boils down to two options: yes and no. Using a red and green ball from a foreclosed McDonald's play place, I'm going to give my son the ability to bet on prediction markets. The green ball stands for yes, and the red ball stands for no. But before I share his experience with you, I must do what every YouTuber does. I need to read Wikipedia to let you know what exactly is a prediction market. Now, I want to assume that most of you know what a prediction market is, but in asking my friends, I actually found out that most people don't really know what this shit is. Prediction markets, also known as information markets, decision markets, idea futures, or event derivatives, are open markets that enable the prediction of specific outcomes using financial incentives. They are exchange-traded markets established for trading bets in the outcome of various events. The market prices can indicate what a crowd thinks the probability of an event is. A typical prediction market contract is set up to trade between 0 and 100%. Now, this is all very serious financial stuff. You can bet on things like, will Jesus come back in 2025? I guess on 421, a bunch of people thought Jesus was coming back. I wonder why. All your parents who I guess still hate weed were like, he's definitely going to come back and kill my children. He has to. For their sake, I hope he does. Look at this. The value for him coming back just hit the shitter on September 1st. But then it kind of ran up again right up until everyone on TikTok sold their cars and, told their children don't wear any belts or jewelry because you don't want to get pulled down to the earth. And then right after that, it went right back to where it was. Now I'm just picturing Kalshi putting iPads in gas stations with the ability to bet on Big J coming back. They just put this all through the Midwest and the South. And right after people buy, like, I don't know, beef stick and a pack of cigarettes, they can just look over and go, this dude tap? I'm going to put 25 down on him coming back. Yeah. I'm going to match what I put into the gas pump. I'm going to put this he coming back. Again, man, prediction markets are real serious financial instruments. You can place a bet on what Mr. Beast is going to say in his next video. And the options here are surprising. There are actually a lot of Mr. Beast bets. I'm like really surprised by it. There's one where you can bet on how many views he's going to get in his next video. How many dads are just going to tee off on their kids verbally because they gave them bad info about the Mr. Beast forecast?
Hey, bud. Hi, sorry to wake you up. Just saw you tossing on the monitor and I thought I'd stop by. So remember when I had you watch all those Mr. Beast videos? And don't tell Mommy, okay? Mommy does not want you on the iPad, okay? So that's between us. He didn't hit 400 million views on his last videos. And remember I told you Daddy's gonna make an investment on that? So we need to make it up somehow. So Daddy set up a parlay. Yeah, do you know that word yet? Parlay on iShowSpeed. And Daddy doesn't know anything about iShowSpeed. So tomorrow morning when Daddy lets you get on the iPad at breakfast, if you could just start watching some of the streams and help Daddy get out of this mess, he'd really appreciate it. Okay? Okay. I just wanted to tell you that before Mommy wakes up tomorrow, okay? Remember, iPad, that's us, okay? Okay, buddy. Have a good sleep. Let's go make some money.
But hey, look, that's not going to be me, all right? I'm not a shitty father. First of all, I want to give you some context about my sweet baby boy. You see, he's been waking up at midnight, 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and some lady, I guess it's his doctor, she says it's because he's growing teeth. I say that's true. You know, sometimes I feed him food, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you got some little chompers in there. But he's not just growing teeth physically. I think he's growing teeth financially. You see, prediction markets trade 24 hours a day, And a baby who just keeps waking up and is almost awake 24 hours a day, that sounds sad, but to me, I hear a baby that is ready for investment. I hear a child that has instincts that are ready to be converted to economic value. Because as a father, it's important to me that my son is available to the economy as soon as possible. Now again, I know what you're thinking. Noel, you're a shit father. How could you let your son gamble on prediction markets? And to that I would say, it's not gambling, dude. It's the news. Just listen to the CEO of Robinhood. He says it's the future of the news.
Let me just say that prediction markets are the future. I think they're the future not just for traders, but also for news and information. So I've been a big believer in the power of prediction markets for a long time. And I think there's a ton of value, both for trading and also as a source of information. So we're gonna be going big, and we're going to be a leader there.
Have you thought at all about a potential reputational risk? There was a time a few years ago, you guys were fighting this perception that Robinhood was gamifying stock markets. You guys have come so far from GameStop and now have retirement accounts, are going after this more sophisticated trader. Do you worry about getting into sports gambling and what that might mean for some, in terms of the perception of Robinhood?
Yeah, I mean, I think that these prediction markets are qualitatively different than sports gambling for a couple of reasons. One is these are CFTC, federally regulated event contracts. And what that means is instead of, betting against the house or setting a line, this is an exchange, a designated contract market where buyers and sellers are meeting. So,
see, I'm not a bad parent. I'm just getting him involved in the news cycle. I'm not going to let my son get caught up in gambling at what, age 11 on Roblox or Counter-Strike? No. He's going to be an educated investor. I want my son to be intelligent enough to put down an 8-leg parlay on Mr. Beast. Now, I'm a really good father, so before allowing my son to get into investment, I did some research on how he can be successful on prediction markets. Now, here's what you should know about prediction markets. Prediction markets present themselves as community-driven, meaning that you can suggest things to the community that people should be allowed to invest in. And more importantly, it's between you and someone else. Let me give you an example. Let's say you think in the next Mr. Beast video, he's gonna lean over a father and his son and go, "Y'all are some fucking bums." Now you can go out and offer a contract, meaning you can go to the open market and say, "I think there's a 90% chance that Mr. Beast is gonna say that in his next video." That 90% is weighed against $1, meaning you're basically betting 90 cents. You are betting 90 cents that he will say that in order to win 10 cents. Does this make sense? Do you feel like you're going insane? That's normal. Just follow me all the way. When I put up my 90-cent contract that Mr. Beast is going to call half of a family some bums, someone can pay 10 cents to win my 90 cents, and you can multiply that by however many contracts you are willing to pay for. The general appeal is that these, investments are made between you and another person, so they're organic, they're natural. Rather than you going to the stock market and pretending not to be a degenerate gambler, you and another person meet up in what's called a specialized market to make a deal amongst each other. And that's something you could tell police officers too. If you like to purchase cocaine, if a cop's trying to shake you down, you go, "Hey man, this is a specialized market for buyers and sellers of cocaine. So if you are not one of those, you need to leave." Explaining this honestly makes me want to put a gun to my head.
Hold on, dude.
Now I know that all sounds like peaceful and yay, everyone gets to make bets and deals organically amongst each other. Just how gambling should be. However, prediction markets are subject to what are called market makers. And if you don't know what that is, allow me to explain. A market maker is basically a company with a ton of money that is kind of a middleman. So they can buy a ton of these Mr. Beast contracts and they can hold them and they can sell them to people and buy them from other people for smaller margins so people have options in the market. And if this still isn't making any sense, don't worry. You don't really need to know. This ain't a finance channel. You can be dumb as hell for this part of the video. If you are struggling with the concept of a market maker, let me make it simple. Imagine you just put some money out, maybe on stocks or in an open market, and you just got financially crushed. It tore your anus to pieces. The market maker is a guy who shows up and goes through the remnants of your ass and your wallet, and he takes little pieces and he puts it together, and that's his commission. That's who the market maker is. Why does this matter? Well, the Robinhood CEO likes to talk about prediction markets as though it's like a World of Warcraft trading outpost where it's very organic and it's just people making deals amongst each other. But I think he leaves out the part where there's actually occasionally, or maybe more often than not, a giant computer that's crunching tons of data that a singular human mind can't compete with. I don't know. I thought that was relevant.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Hey. So, Mr. Beast is doing another mukbang, and people are thinking you might start to get a swollen prostate. What do you think, huh? What do you think? Just either one. You tell me, okay?
The first step I took as a perfect father was doing some research on poly markets. My bad, not polycules. I meant prediction markets. That took me to my first stop, the Kalshi subreddit, where I wanted to engage other like-minded investors that my son could interact with and learn from. Because the subreddit only seemed to yield two strategies, betting on sports or having a trust fund, that pushed me to do some further research. That took me down a path on TikTok and YouTube that I could only describe as the boys. Soul is shattered.
Like, I'm dead ass serious, guys. I'm not playing.
Now, without knowing what he invested in, what do you think he invested in? I'm going to give you a couple options, all right? Here, let's do this. Do you think it's something to do with the geopolitical conflict or the tech industry? 3, 2, if you said the Los Angeles Clippers, you are correct. It's a parlay. How did I lose? Now again, let's play a little game here because I love games. Just reading the title, how did I lose? What do you think he bet on? All right, I'll give you some other options. Do you think it's what Donald Trump said in his latest speech or something an announcer said during a football game? If you said New York Jets at Giants, you would be correct. Boom, more sports betting. I love the replies on this too. That's gambling, man. But this guy's wrong. This is the future of the news. And now I must pause the action to thank a couple sponsors. Everyone knows eating clean during the holidays can feel basically impossible, which is one of the major reasons I turned to Factor for their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals. They help me stay balanced and energized through the most indulgent time of the year. Unlike meal kits that require prep and cooking, Factor delivers fully prepared, ready-to-eat meals in just 2 minutes. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. Perfect for when you're surrounded by holiday temptations. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. Think savory Korean beef bowls or Thai-style coconut curry, a refreshing break from traditional holiday fare. Real people, real results, staying on track even during the most indulgent season. I like using Factor because I am constantly impressed at the high-quality meals I receive. From the delicious choices to the massive amount of time it saves me from being stuck in the kitchen, it's a great option for busy people like me. Eat smart at factormeals.com/lot50off and use code LOT50off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code LOT50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. This exclusive holiday offer won't last. Lock in your savings before the New Year rush. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. We also quickly want to thank Cash App. I've mentioned in the past that I like the freedom to choose what design I want on my Cash App card. Lately, I've been mulling around the idea of throwing a picture of my pool truck on there. One of the coolest things about Cash App is that you can design your own debit card. You can pick from a bunch of different colors and patterns, add your favorite stamps, doodles. You could even add you and your friends' inside jokes to make it totally unique to you. You also get exclusive savings on stuff you're already buying, like coffee, boba, video games, and more. And if you're the type who loves concerts, your Cash App card gets you early access to ticket sales for huge tours like Kendrick Lamar and SZA and Sabrina Carpenter. Finally, no need to worry about random monthly charges or minimum balance requirements. Take control of your money today with Cash App. If you're between 13 and 17, you can still sign up. Just ask your parent or guardian for help to open up a Cash App sponsored account. For a limited time, new Cash App customers over 18 years old can earn $10 if they use code THAT'SMONEY10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. If you're 13 to 17 years old, request a sponsored account from a parent or guardian. Sign up with code THAT'SMONEY10 and get $10 dropped into your account when you order and activate your Cash App card and send $5 or more to a friend within your first 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners, prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Bullshit. On an 11-cent portfolio. Bullshit. Now again, if you had to guess what sports, correct. The fucking gall of this guy, dude. Now, if you were frustrated with an investment that you made about a trend, okay, and you felt like you were kind of a peak analyst about world events, how many events would you line up in a row, statistically, that you felt confident predicting in a row? All right? Would it be 2? Would it be 3? Well, for this guy, it was 17. 17 fucking games. And he also lost on the New York Jets. Brother, this is so absurd. This is so absurd, dude. Oh my God. I guess like if you know sports and you know all these guys' averages, it's not that crazy, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong here, but that many things past 10, dude, you'd be probably feeling like a god. I wonder how many people just like, I don't know, got into serious debt, made life-altering decisions because this guy, up until his fucking 14th or 13th leg in his parlay, because mind you, you could turn this to someone and you could probably convince them that you're Jesus Christ. It's like, I know the future. Prove it. Here's another wonderful post from the Kalshi subreddit. Sometimes you miscalculate a little, but it's for the love of the game. Sports. What the hell? I'm not going to say all, but a good handful of the top posts on Kalshi in the last month, 2 months, is sports. But that didn't stop me from finding a nugget of truth in there, a little something that my investor son could cling on to, all right? I'm going to show it to you. 10K to 40K in 3 days. This guy invested in more football. How did he do it? Well, bro, who are you? Who can casually risk 30K? If you want an honest and blunt answer, 24, both my parents are dead. Low key, if you want an honest and blunt answer, I'm only 24, and both my parents are fucking dead, yo. Literally chopped to pieces. Have a trust fund over $1 million. Now, I have heard this as a first-time investor. A good strategy is to have a trust fund. Oh. Happy birthday, son. God! Unfortunately for my son, I have no plans to leave anytime soon. I had to knock on some wood. That was my peg leg. It's all the way out there. Did you hear that? Let me knock it again. That goes for his mother as well, and his grandpap is still working. My dad is one of the last 100 employees making doors at a factory in America. Isn't that crazy? But I digress. I can't offer my son a trust fund, so I had to look at some other strategies. And that took me down another path. Now, I tried to look up strategies for prediction markets, and here's what I can tell you. It's a lot of dudes there. Not men, not elders, just dudes. Now, I'm a perfect father, but this might be a point of failure for me because these guys might have some good advice. I just couldn't buy in. Here's why. If I'm being honest about who I think actually knows how to bet on prediction markets, it's not a normal looking person. You can look at Polymarket and Call Sheet and look at who are some of the top investors in prediction markets. None of them are accounts with first and last names. Most of them are like, their names look like they're Counter-Strike players. Like they're all like gamer tags. So when I'm going online and I'm looking for a person to tell me how to make money on prediction markets, a lot of this stuff is really niche and nuanced, and I think you have to have a particular type of brain. You gotta have a special interest type of brain. You know what the fuck I'm saying. It's played out. I'm not even gonna say it, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not taking advice from a guy who looks normal with tattoos going, so I'm gonna show you how to turn 300 into 3K. I'm looking for a faceless YouTube video that is an hour long with the driest voice, a voice that has not sipped water, has only sipped Celsius, smoked vape, and is burnt out from just very occasional gas station cart use, walking me through their trading strategy. That's one that I might bite down and go, you know what? I will buy this course. Because they're always selling a course. Just know that. They always sell a course. Now, I'm getting a little bit carried away with these descriptions. The main point that I'm trying to make here is the people giving me the advice, for some reason, I personally could not trust them. They weren't sweaty enough. They weren't greasy enough. That motivated me to look a little bit deeper, which landed me in a place that was a little bit French. A little something called arbitrage. Arbitrage, or as the pros call it, ARBs. If you're in the biz, is what you're going to call it. ARBs. What up? Thanks for joining the stream. Today we're going to be going over some ARBs, just generally showing y'all how to really stack and cash out on this shit. People make this shit out harder than it is, but for real, it is not that hard. Honestly, you go hard with ARBs, man. You could just really, if you're really about it, you could really
arrest this guy, please. Arrest this. You know what? Kill this guy.
I think about dads who, years ago maybe bought books by renowned investors, and then the internet came around and they signed up for email lists for stock picks, and now they can just pay to be in a Discord for a guy that tells them real shit it's that easy, bro. I can't even cap. It's really about if you want it. And that's really it. My name's Travis. I'm from Florida. Anyways, arbitrage. Arbitrage is really easy to understand. It's basically this.
The beauty behind this tool is that it searches and scans all the available sportsbooks that I have accounts with, and then just shows us plays where these sportsbooks are really out of sync with one another. So with arbitrage betting, you're placing two bets on two books. You're placing different dollar amounts on one book compared to the other. We're hedging our bet. We're placing one bet on the over, one bet on the under. Our total investment's $195. So in this example, no matter if he gets 6 strikeouts or more in the game, or 5 strikeouts or less, no matter what happens, we're going to get back our $195 plus $4.25 of profit. Look at it as an over 2% return off of our investment.
And look, if you didn't really understand that, that's fine. You're slow. I get it. I got another explanation for you. Hopefully this will make it easier.
So for the people that don't know exactly what arbitrage betting is, can you explain from your perspective of what that is?
Yeah. So arbitrage is not unique to sports betting. Once the U.S. legalized sports betting, the Supreme Court in 2018 was like, okay, it's to the states. You can have online sports betting. Every company entered. Fanatics, FanDuel, DraftKings. Everyone has a sports book. WinBet, everyone. All of these books, they want to be unique, so they set their own prices, their own odds. Sometimes two books will have, such different odds. You're essentially buying the Phillies, you're buying the Marlins on two different books at two different sets of prices. And because these books have super different odds, you're guaranteeing yourself a risk-free profit. And because hundreds and hundreds of sports books have launched in the U.S., they all try to set their own lines. A lot of them are very small. They don't have big budgets. They're really bad at it. There's actually a lot of opportunity. In arbitrage betting, there's a lot of money you can make.
And look, if you don't get it, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, I do. There are 20 more minutes in this video. I absolutely know what to tell you. Arbitrage is the genius strategy of protecting your investment by not just placing one bet, but by placing the same bet on another website. So that way, your risk for the one bet is negated because you've bet in two places. You understand? You reduce the risk by betting more. And that's something my son could wrap his head around, so I kind of like this strategy. Because then I can go to my son and say, look, man, you don't just bet once in one place. You bet 4 times on 4 different places on the same thing. Yeah. And that makes it risk-free because there's no risk because you've bet 15 places, so now there's nothing to risk because you're covered no matter where you go, right? And again, this strategy is genius because if you win in one place and lose in the other, there's no profit and it's just a wash. So you got your money back. So you got to feel like you participated, but you didn't win anything. That's why it's risk-free. But here's the thing. I worry about my son managing different websites. You know, I have some ADD brain, and I think he'll be of that same mindset. But there's an answer. You can actually build a bot that will do the arbitrage for you. And remember, guys, this isn't gambling. It's the future of the news. Let me take a time out and say I am not encouraging you to do this by any stretch of the imagination. If you need proof as to why you shouldn't do it, just refer to the soul-crushing posts at the top of the Kalshi subreddit, all right? If you need a reminder. Now, something that is relevant on the subject of arbitrage, putting down a bet in one place and maybe betting on another, I think now's a good time to bring up the quote from the Robinhood CEO regarding home insurance. Recently, he suggested, subtly, that maybe you bet on a prediction market versus purchasing home insurance. So, by his logic, if you bet on multiple sites that your city's going to burn down, well, then you should be good because eventually it should go. Unfortunately, arbitrage is kind of a complicated concept. And, again, I'm a perfect father, so I wouldn't subject my son to something so complex so early on in his investment journey. I needed to get down to something simple, a sure bet. And this kind of brings us to the main issue with prediction markets that I'm sure some of you know about already, the vast amounts of insider trading. It is unreal how much insider trading seems to be occurring within prediction markets. I think one of the biggest stories in the last couple months was effectively a Google employee seemingly having access to data that enabled him to make a bet where I think he bet on like a really fractional odd. It was like a 0.2% or 2% chance of something occurring. And he took, I don't know, whatever amount of money it was and turned it to 200 grand. And from there seemed to be multiple instances of insider trading just within prediction markets. Now, I know you might be sitting there thinking, bro, what? People are gaming the market? That's so fucked up and unethical. Okay. Okay, you might be sitting here now going, man, that's so fucked up that you would laugh about that. And I'm laughing because finally, there's a tangible strategy that I can afford to my son. Because there are even reputable voices in the finance sphere that are saying, dude, prediction markets are cool. I have so much confidence in this because the CEO of Polymarket, he doesn't have a problem with insider trading. In all his $9 billion wisdom, he says, it's just going to happen, bro. This is an actual direct quote from him. He said, charge it to the game, bro. I don't know what else to tell you, gang. He said that. He also said, it's about to be white boy summer for the next 10 years, so lock the fuck in. I don't really know what he meant by that, but that was part of the quote as well.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Okay. Mommy's in the shower, so it's better we have this conversation here, okay? So Daddy's been doing research, all right? He's trying to teach you how to get involved with the news, trust that gut. And we got a big one coming, all right? Epstein client list, all right? Do you think CoffeeZilla has the names? All right, this is a quick one. We got to jump on it. And here's the thing. Daddy, okay, because, we've been getting crushed. I've been telling you a little bit about this thing called insider info. Daddy might have some insider info, okay? So we have a chance here, but, it's totally up to you, Green, yes, we think CoffeeZilla has the list. Or no, and we just play it straight and just totally go about our lives like normal. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it to you, okay? And you let us know which way, all right, bud? Yeah, exactly. I think he's gonna have it too. I totally think he's gonna have it. Great choice, buddy. Let's get this money.
And now, folks, I got to interrupt this one last time to thank the last sponsor of today's video, because this is technically a podcast. 2026 is the year you launch your business, the year you transform into an entrepreneur, founder, boss. One powerful move puts your future firmly in your hands, starting a business with Shopify. Maybe you've got an idea you can't shake, a craft everyone tells you to sell, a store you've already designed in your head. With Shopify, 2026 is when you finally can make it happen. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. Setup is fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines and help you edit product photos. Marketing is built in too. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. As you grow, Shopify grows with you. Handle more orders, expand to new markets, and do it all from the same dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/companylot. Go to shopify.com/companylot. That's shopify.com/companylot. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. Now, if I can, I would like to bitch and pontificate for just a few minutes. Literally in the last 4 to 6 weeks, it feels like prediction markets are everywhere. I actually, in making this video, I came across this weird anti-call sheet campaign. I found a handful of TikToks from people reading a script.
I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I see one of those AI call sheet ads, I genuinely want to throw my phone across the room. Not that I would have used call sheet.
You know, in other countries, a lawsuit is a damning or a scary thing. But in America, it's a sign that you're doing well, because you're making so much money that people want to take it from you. But Kalshi is not the only place where you can bet on prediction markets. You can bet on Robinhood. Another big player is Polymarket, which is a controversial company in and of itself. It was founded by Shane Copeland. He launched it in 2020 to facilitate bets on everything from sports to politics and entertainment awards. And in October of this year, the company received a $2 billion investment, valuing Polymarket at $9 billion. It made Copeland the youngest self-made billionaire at the age of 27. A lot of the big sports betting apps are running to adopt prediction markets, and all of this is making the NFL very sad. The NFL expressed its concerns about the rise of prediction markets to a congressional committee on Thursday, stating that the league is particularly troubled by sports contracts being offered in states where traditional betting has not been legalized. Hey, who am I? Mr. Government. How could you let these nerds come in and allow the good people of Iowa to bet on our sport before us? We've been committed to this country, okay? In many ways, every Sunday we show up and we rig games so people will punch out their kids and potentially off themselves in their cars because of the game we have engineered. And here you go, allowing these dorks, these outsiders, to come in and take the hard-earned money from the American people that we are entitled to. We're all for people betting on the weather, okay? They just need to do it through us, and they need to be betting on the weather at the Bill Stadium, not the weather in Miami. Who gives a good gall darn about Miami unless you're betting on the weather for a Dolphins game, okay? That's besides the point. We are very upset by this, and we would expect that you would reverse this decision and allow us priority to take people's money before the nerds. Thank you. I'm only really doing a summary of, the big prediction market platforms because the guys who run these companies have very interesting ideas about how society should run and how these prediction markets should participate in our society, or what's left of it. Now let me explain to you what's going on in this image real quick. On the right is the CEO of Kalshi, and on the left is Lex Luthor, aka Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. And he's about to snitch on his buddy over here because this feels like a closed door conversation, and he's just bringing it to the public without really asking.
I think actually Tarek told me a really powerful idea, which is that
policymakers.
You saw that little smile? That's the 0.5% of human left in the CEO of Kalshi. And I will not refer to him by name because he is not a human being. He's not a human being with thoughts like this. Listen to this shit.
I think actually Tarek told me a really powerful idea, which is that policymakers could actually use this to determine what are the best policies to implement, right? Like, let's say you're trying to put out some policy to try to build more housing in San Francisco or to reduce unemployment. You could actually put this on a prediction market, get real signal from the market about what would happen if these were actually implemented, and then use that to choose the best policy. So,
you hear that, guys? You like this idea? If you, the citizen, will pay your money, you pay for your vote. You no longer vote for free. You put your money behind it and you say, I will volunteer what little I have to the commission cuts of the Kalshi platform in order to get repaved sidewalks. And a politician looks at that and goes, load up $2 million on no. Now, you may have seen this clip, but I think it's revisiting. The CEO of Kalshi has a very specific vision of society.
And I think retail as a pie has just been growing in the U.S., and I think it's going to keep growing. It's growing in the stock market, but it's growing outside of the stock market. The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion. And I think if you do build a general purpose exchange that can resolve differences of opinions on anything, like the TAM is quite massive, quite a bit bigger than the current TAM of the stock market. I think putting aside sort of the retail trading and the institutional trading product, like there's sort of this separate product, which is like, we are living in a world where like we have an abundance of information, but there's a lot of noise, and like we don't really understand what's real from what's not. And prediction markets are an antidote to that. They do a very, very good job at distilling information and surfacing truth to people. And you're seeing this sort of massive shift where like people are using them whenever they think about questions about the future, you know, whenever they're debating about anything. And I think that trajectory is going to keep going. That's a new consumer habit that I don't think is going to be undone.
That's a lot of words to say. I would like everyone to convert their opinion into money that I can take a piece of on my platform. What is this guy saying, dude? Don't you love the way this guy talks about people like ants in a box? You know, they kind of have this habit. And when they have a difference of opinion, I would like them to pay to settle it. That's like essentially what he's saying to me. That's how I interpret it. You know, any disagreements we have culturally, we shouldn't be talking about them on shows. We shouldn't be commenting on videos. We should just go to Kalshi, take $1,000 and go, I don't think this guy should win the election. And then you should lose that money to Kalshi, because Kalshi will take the middle half and go, thank you. We charge a 30% fee, by the way, to state your opinion. Thank you for that. Thanks for voting. Ugh, you help society settle this difference of opinion quickly, decisively. We appreciate you. I think at this point, again, most people know what a prediction market is, but I would argue that most people have not gone to these websites and seen what you can bet on, because the volume of options is fairly surreal. The one that sticks out to me is mentions. People, you know, advertise themselves as making a ton of money on Twitter off of mention markets, and that is just literally people talking. What will the announcers say during the Philadelphia versus New York pro basketball game originally scheduled for December 19th, 2025? What are the options here? Madison Square Garden, injury, injured, MVP, ankle. It's none of this stuff, dude. The top options here should be is you talking about and go Birds, dickhead. You can bet on how many subscribers iShowSpeed will get this year. You can bet on award shows, which is something that I think people have said for the last 15 years. I think you all have had a friend who has looked at you during the Oscars and gone, yo, you should be able to bet on this shit. You can bet on war. You can bet on politics. You can bet on nuanced things happening around the world. And I have to say, some of this stuff, like if you're betting on it, it's genuinely pretty embarrassing. Like, knowing how many tweets Elon Musk has tweeted, I don't know. I think that's an embarrassing thing to know. I think most social circles, it's going to feel pretty bad, even if you win a ton of money off that, to say like, well, I thought Elon would tweet 560 times this month. Like, I think you get what I'm going for here. And on the other side of things, like, you know, global conflicts, you might read about that stuff and have a natural interest in geopolitics. But if you won a ton of money off of war, wouldn't you feel bad? Like, don't you feel some kind of fucked up, like, I don't know, you win 50 grand off of betting on something that happens in Ukraine, and you buy a new Kia, and your friends are going, wow, sweet Optima, how'd you get that? I hedged an airstrike? Like, doesn't that feel terrible? I mean, how nuanced do these guys want to get? You know, there was a vote in Kentucky to make sodomy legal. It went through. No pun. Won me 15 grand off of that. And that is a joke one of my buddies, Joe, made, and that is not my original thinking. The idea of financializing and making everything a bet is obviously very grim. Can you imagine losing your friends or even your own personal mind to living a lifestyle like this? I think the average person wouldn't even want to keep up with this many things, but for those who are terminally online, this is such a way to, I don't know, destroy them mentally. Like, does someone even authentically have interest at a point if they're just betting on every single thing that's happening in the world and in their life? Do they watch media for media anymore? Can they even enjoy Stranger Things, which, by the way, you can bet on who's going to die in Stranger Things? I mean, if every single thing in your life is a hedge, it's disgusting. It's fucked up.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Sorry, quick question. iShowSpeed is streaming right now. Do you think you'll do another backflip? Just yes or no if you think you'll do another backflip. It's really cheap right now. I think we can make a killing on this, all right? So just you tell me. Okay? No. Okay, yeah, good call. Good call. I'll keep you posted, all right?
Well, folks, I think it's pretty clear. This shit is gambling. Stay all the way away from it. Invest in a hobby. You don't want to be a top post on Kalshi. I would rather you go fishing or something else besides that. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one.